If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Welcome to yet another exciting show of Real Talk with me, Anele. We are just one day to the weekend, and since it's Thursday, we're throwing it back to the life and times of an incredible broadcasting giant whose career spans over 30 years, affectionately known as uBhutiza. And who can forget his canny opening, Baphulaphuli siyanamkela nonke kwi-BEE breakfast eyona eyondlayo, hailing all the way from Buffalo in the Eastern Cape. My guest today is none other than Putco Mafani.
Wow.
Finally, you are here.
I didn't pay you for that introduction, but it's fine. I'm here. Yeah.
No, you didn't pay, but you are definitely worth it. Uchawe.
I've been looking forward to it, and somehow I can't believe I've made it to Real Talk with Anele. This is a big show, by the way. So in all that I have come to achieve in my career, this is a star in the crown.
Okay, sure, your flattery will get you everywhere, everywhere. Speaking of big things, this is also big for me because I remember as a kid sitting and watching soccer with my dad and his friends, and there you were in your suit, and I was just like, yay, but this man can dance, man. You had this move where you do ikwasa backwards, and then you would hit your jacket to kind of look like a Superman cape, and then you would carry on dancing. And for me, you've just always been in the center of entertainment in South Africa.
I think I consider it to be extreme luck to be as multi-talented as I am, and also to appeal to the hearts of people in the manner that I've been lucky to be appealing currently, from radio, television, and public relations, my days at Kaiser Chiefs, you know, so yeah, I've been fairly lucky.
Okay, let's trace this luck back, because when you were 10 years old and you went to Radio Xhosa and you saw Ntlebi, essence show yake ngetawe, and you stood outside there and you watched him, what did it awaken in you? How did you realize then, but this is my path?
Just before that, when I was 7, I was caught having opened the radio set because I wanted to see the people in the radio. And I think it's true that radio is the theater of the mind. And I wanted to see the people in the radio. These people had great voices, because radio is about sound, is about voice. So there were people that spoke my language exceptionally well. And my dream was like, one day I think I'd love to speak radio.
Yeah, and because they were always so melodic in the way they were talking. Don't laugh at me, I'm trying. Okay, you do it.
Okay, no, that's fine. My auditions for rhythm have just started. Do that again.
No, never. I would destroy it. I would destroy it.
So after that, then getting back to what you were talking about, then my school in Ngaba Lower Primary School undertook a tour of King Williamstown in East London. We went to King Williamstown. It was a big deal.
From Buffalo?
Yes, it was such a big deal. You made the tour on certain merits, and you know, you had to be a well-behaved kid, doing well also in your subjects. So we went on tour of King in East London.
What a big deal.
Wow, it was, eh?
Yeah.
So we got to SABC, Radio Bantu then. I got there, and I was like, and I went to one studio where Given Klebi was, selling all Hlobo Givi. And he was doing his show. Bantwana nabam, Dianitanda. I was like, man.
Because I heard you liked his mannerisms as well, the way he was carrying himself.
Absolutely. And after watching him for quite some time, and the teachers were like, hey, Puman Kaloko, Abahanye, it's someone's 10. I stood there, I said, I'm not going anywhere else. I just want to watch this man do this. Afterwards, I said to the old man, I said, Tata, one day I'll be sitting where you're sitting.
And you weren't lying. You weren't lying.
So I'm living my dream. I'm one of those South Africans that are lucky to be living your dream.
But then how do you do, because I mean, I understand you're very, very talented when it comes to music as well. How do you, because you studied music in varsity, right? So how did that go? Why did you choose music? And did you in your mind know that it was part and parcel to where you wanted to go?
Yeah, sure. We had a choice to do music theory or music practical, but I chose music theory and I learned a thing or two, and that helped me because I'm also, and this is, I think Real Talk is the first media platform to unleash this. I'm also a qualified choir trainer.
Yes.
So I train church choirs. I specialize with church choirs. And there we've got music. Sometimes have to transpose music from staff notation to tonic solfa, go do re mi,
Do re mi.
and then train the choir. I love that. Even if I didn't get a chance to go conduct the final product, but as long as I do the dirty work, having to
The
teach
arranging and the production of it, yeah.
Correct. And even having to teach people who never touched a music score before.
Yeah.
I love that, you know. So I did that, you know, and I guess I also thought maybe later in life I'll get an opportunity to go to UCT, one of these schools where you do practical and you do opera singing. But I guess that was not really one of my priorities. I did a little bit of Western classical with the Zwelicha Adult Choir, and I sang with them. I did some amazing music with the choir.
Apparently you do have quite a voice on you.
I did a bit. I did Credo. Credo in omnum Deum facto omnipotentem, factore Scelietere, visibilium omnium, et invisibilium.
You are the annoying person at a funeral. The one everyone looks so they're like, okay, where's Putco? He needs to. Are you that person?
I start songs in church, funerals,
weddings,
and sometimes I start music. Even in church, I'm a chorister. I love starting music. Nangogo, I would love to start a song, but
well, it's a good thing we're going to an ad break. During the ad break, Putco says he'd like to make all the people here sing. Listen, I've got some good news for you. Who have an appreciation for the finer things in life, just like this opera that we've just heard. We are giving away 2 sets of Lux Marquee VIP tickets for you and a partner to the exclusive and glamorous Le Cap Lifestyle Fair happening this Saturday right here at Stain City. All you have to do is watch the next clip, tweet your answer to @Stain_City, and of course at Real Talk on 3. The question is, who is the MC of the hashtag Le Cap Lifestyle Fair? Watch your media pages to find out who has won. We will be right back. I'd sing that, but you know how that would go.
Prepare for a day of glitz, glamour, and opulence. Join me, Bonang Mateba, at Stain City for the Le Cap Lifestyle Fair on the 10th of June. Enjoy a day of great food by some of South Africa's most celebrated chefs. Fine wine, whiskey, fashion, fast cars, and show jumping. Don't miss out on the hottest new luxury lifestyle event. Purchase your tickets at www.lecaplifestylefair.com.
So his biggest and proudest career highlight, the MTN Radio Awards 2014, where he must have felt like Drake at this year's Billboard Music Awards. Putco won everything. The best breakfast show, the best breakfast presenter. And he was also inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in South Africa. You've guessed it, my guest today, uBhutiza, Putco Mafani, who hosted the BE show for around 10 years, which was a major thing. But I'm still in your childhood now. So you said something about your dad and your grandmother, that even during tough times, we never knew that we're struggle. We were never made to feel like we're poor. There was just always love.
It's about love.
Ne?
Yeah, it was a family of laughter, prayer, music, lots of singing and playing. And that kind of lifestyle has got a way to to cheat poverty out.
Yes.
You know, when there's love at home.
Yeah.
Because it all starts with love, it ends with love. If there is love, the opening billboard and the closing billboard, everything in between just falls into place. You even forget that you're going to bed and you're hungry. You forget, you know.
What does your childhood smell like? Like what smell, if it hits you now, will it take you straight back to your childhood?
If I wouldn't have shoes now, that would take me back to my
And your childhood.
yeah. Absolutely. That's why I'm going to make sure my slang was a grand.
Hey, and those shoes are something else.
I didn't make sure it was a grand.
Look at that.
Yeah, because there was a time when there were no shoes completely.
So shoes are your luxury.
Yeah. It's like now when I see kids who go to school on barefoot, it touches me a bit, and I think the foundation, Putco Mafani Foundation, will also deliver something when it comes to covering, you know, the naked feet, the dignity of a child going to school.
So I have a friend of mine who does not eat pilchards fish because it reminds him of poverty, like his childhood. Like, that's all we ate. So I said, the day I get money, I will not eat that. That's him. I love it. I still love it. Do you have like a specific food that you won't eat because you're like, no, I think I've made it?
I don't know what you call umpokoko in English.
African salad.
That's right. But kungabikho masi. Now, that's poverty.
That's poverty.
Yeah, no. Please, Klandi visit.
No. None of that. You were a school teacher.
Yeah, I was. I didn't last too long.
Apparently, you didn't last long because you said the classroom was too small for you and you wanted a bigger audience.
And I kind of regret that because I loved what I was doing during that 10, 11 months. I loved it. I mean, I was a maths teacher. I was a biology teacher, taught English. And I sat in for Xhosa teachers who probably wouldn't be there. I also was a football coach, rugby coach at school and all of these things, and a choir conductor. But it didn't last too long because for me, teaching was a gateway to radio. And if you remember those days, the SABC employed teachers.
Because they could speak.
For broadcast.
Yeah.
Because teachers were people that were trained to deal with 40 or 50 learners and deliver a message and communicate effectively to all of them equally. And that formed the basis of what would define the role of a broadcaster. A person that would look at an audience and it doesn't matter the diverse nature of the audience, but deliver one message and it touches the entire audience.
So were you you were the favorite teacher, right? You were the teacher that the kids used to run to class because it's Mr. Mafani's class.
I would love to believe that because even with my maths double periods, the class would be chock-a-block because I had a different approach. I would dance with them while I'm teaching maths. You know, I would make them sing. I would have fun. I would have fun such that I remember I would even play soccer during break when other teachers go to staff room and have a stony ginger beer. No, I would play with the boys. Play there. One day came the inspectors. They said, "Hey, my boys, where are the teachers?" I said, they're in the staff room because there is happening. and on top of that, I was the deputy principal.
Oh, wow. For 11 months?
Yeah. Deputy principal for 11 months. Earning 500 rand a month.
But you were the man.
That was a lot.
Is this when you drove the Mazda 323?
Just after that.
Mzani.
When I got to... Then when I got to Ciskei, then I did that because at least there was a bit more money. Then I was able to afford to buy a car. And I bought my Mazda 323A red.
I felt you said it was like a lawnmower.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know what was happening to it. At some stage, when I was driving it, so.
So the call to you to go into radio from teaching, who makes that call to you? Do you go to the radio station, Radio Ciskei? Do you go to them or do they call you?
You must remember, even while I was still at school, even when I was doing my teacher's diploma with UNITRA, during holidays, I would go to Radio Ciskei and broadcast with them.
Okay.
So that's how I got my training. I would broadcast with them. So by the time I was ready to go to them, they were also calling. Radio was calling. As my kids were writing final exams, radio was calling. And I submitted on the 30th November 1987, I submitted everything to my boss, the principal, and I told Tatu Ches, Uchakavula, that, Ches, I'm leaving you, big boss. It's not personal. There's a bigger calling, man, and I love radio. I didn't hide it from him. On the 1st of December, I was on air doing the breakfast show on CKI, the station that blows your blues away.
You know what it is? You are just full circles, right? Because you playing soccer with the pupils soon made sense because you then became the public relations officer for Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah. And I feel like that's when Amakosi were really built. Do you know what I'm saying? That's when it was the height of their, the golden boys, the cheese boys. And I think that was all you, because you were in it, right? You were just in it.
And for me, the interesting thing, Anele, is that when I was asked by Kaizer Chiefs to join them, I was headhunted. Mr. Mtaung asked me to join him.
Wow.
And for me, I didn't do it for money. I was not even bothered how much they were going to give me. Part of my life was, I didn't believe. The Kaizer Chiefs I've loved all my childhood. And the Kaizer Mutaung I had admired, the Esentsoleng, the Teenage Ladlas, and all these guys at Kaizer Chiefs, that now I get an opportunity to work with them. So.
Same bus. I heard that when you and Kaizer Chiefs used to fly, you guys used to have farting competitions to see who'd fart the most.
No, you didn't ask that question.
I didn't ask it. It's a statement, and I want you to either say if it's true or false.
One of the characteristics of a wise man is to decide which issues to address and which issues to leave out. And I chose to leave this one out.
So you're gonna leave me hanging? I wasn't Pendulane.
Hey, Miss my blind man. I remember this one flight we had just lost a game against Ajax in Cape Town, and we were flighting 2-hour flight Cape Town to Joburg long, and we were frustrated. We were out of the cup, knocked out. Hey, then Brian Baloy started it. And Tsiki Tsiki Mwoki and Disco Makua. Yeah, and Bobby Mtaunga. And now my hoy. Next.
We'll go to next after this quick break. A reminder of our weekly at-home competition. I want to laugh so hard. There's 5,000 rands worth of an e-card up for grabs. Today is your last chance to enter. The winner will be announced tomorrow. Check out our social media pages to see how to enter. More with Putco Mafani when we return. My guest today is a man of many talents. He is a broadcaster, marketing and public relations expert, an MC, and as we've heard today, a choir conductor and choir trainer. uBhutiza Putco Mafani is my guest. Abula sekele, sekele bula. It's not a party until Putco arrives. Huh? Listen, the tweets that are coming through. You are so loved. I remember how Putco used to dance during halftime when he was the PRO of Kaizer Chiefs, man. One of my best childhood memories. Also coming through, everyone calling you a legend, a man of many talents and inspiration, multi-gifted, humble, the great. At Akona, Mkumula says, thank you for treating us with this broadcasting giant. This guy represents the Xhosa kingdom so well, so well. So now, you always look like you're happy, right? Doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're doing, you look happy. Surely you are not always happy. What career mistakes have you made that you still think back to and you're like, I could have done that differently?
I don't have many regrets.
Ne?
Yeah, because even in things that I probably didn't achieve that much, I looked at them as stepping stones for me. They sharpened my hunger to achieve more. So I really don't have many regrets, except the fact that I've traveled the world over, but I still need to go to New York.
You have never been to New York?
I've never been to New York. And I've been to all these other beautiful places.
Yeah.
I've been to the East, I've been to Japan, to China, to Korea, you know, you name them, Malaysia, Singapore, to France, to England, and all of this, and to the rest of the continent. Football actually grew me up, because when you travel, you grow. You know, it's because you grow.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see also, you know, sometimes I cringe when I see people speak a lot of negative about South Africa. They don't realize, if only we could travel.
You would see
and
that we have it good.
Absolutely. And see how lucky we are. You know, the amount of poverty that's there, you know, with the other countries.
I mean, India, Brazil.
Sure.
Way worse than us.
Yeah.
So, speaking of traveling, you're making me remember something here, is that I read somewhere that the furthest you travel away from home is the clearest your mind will ever be.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously, because you're far away from home, so all you are is just you and your thoughts.
Correct.
Where is your mind the clearest?
My mind is the clearest on the Indian Ocean. I loved it every time when they said, we're going to go to the island of the Reunion, or to Seychelles, or to Mauritius, or Madagascar.
Yeah.
I love. So if I could do another trip, say to the Seychelles, my mind would be clear. Clear as the sea water there, so clear, you see everything happening. So my mind is clear. It's peaceful also because there's a whole lot of other people that are French speaking, and it sort of locks you out a bit. So you can't listen to a lot of junk and negative state things and all of that.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so then you're at peace. Then you struggle a bit when you get coffee and they bring you cold water. How am I going to say this water is cold and I want hot water? So Bobby and I were sitting at the reunion and we wanted to have some coffee, and we said to the lady, we pointed to the swimming pool, we said, we want water. Water? What, dear? I said, Lou? Said, yes, that's it. We pointed there. Then she brought cold water. Now, how do we tell her we want hot water? So I took a glass of water. I said, water, Lou? She brought us hot water.
Oh,
It worked. So
Bobby
I love those
Mutaung.
things. Yeah.
You are like the honorary son there in the Mutaungs, ne?
I think so.
Yeah.
I still am. Because even this morning I spent about 4 hours at Chiefs Village, you know, with the chairman, and we had a great time. I'm part of that family for life. That's why I coined the slogan, Kosi for life.
Is that your slogan?
That's right. Yeah, I borrowed it from Kabelo because he had just released a song,
Kosi
Pantsula for Life.
Pantsula for
and so
Life.
we used to invite him to come and perform it at our home games. And then I would dance with him. He has a microphone, I also have a microphone. Halfway the song, I've changed the song from Pantsula for Life to Kosi for Life.
Do you know what's funny? So you're telling me this story about Kabelo, and then Kabelo went and married Miss Kaizer Chiefs.
That's it.
Do you realize that?
Absolutely.
Family. Yeah. So I pick up a lot that Tatu Kaizer Mutaung is your mentor. Yeah. But you also do a lot of mentorship. I know that, is it Anele Ngube? He's one of the people that, you know, can call you up and ask you for advice.
Yeah.
Why is it so important for you to be mentoring other people?
It's because you will appreciate also the fact that professionally I'm a teacher. And part of what I learned from a man they called Mr. Dubison, who was our lecturer, is that it's like when we're growing kids, you and I. If we grow children and they don't become better than us, then child development has not happened.
And we are the ones that
So absolutely. So we must, and I always tell my kids, I always tell them, you're going to be better than me. You know, so if we produce a generation of better kids, because our tomorrow ends now, and they got a lot of future ahead of them. So if you and I and everybody else that's watching produced children that were better than you, South Africa and the entire world would be a better place. So that's why I also love mentoring. I mentored quite a number of other big broadcasters. When Dixon Mula fell in love with radio, he was a student at Rhodes. He came to CKI and spent time with me. And he was like, and I said, you can do this. You can do it better than I am. And when he did it, he went to bigger radio stations. He went to 5FM. You
see,
know.
I want to talk about that when you call them bigger radio stations, because part of my gripe when it came to radio was the whole, PBS stations, which is Umhlobo Wenene, Mutsweding, Likwala Kwala, Phala Phala, Ukhozi, and then it's the commercial ones, your 5FM, your Good Hopes, your 947 and all of that. I felt like there was always like this separation between those two stations, and yet you guys had the numbers, but I felt like when it came to awards and recognition, you guys weren't coming up there. Did you ever pick that up?
I picked it up a little bit, but it soon disappeared because they realized that there was something cool even to the youth when you spoke your mother tongue. I don't know if you felt this when a man proposes you in his mother tongue.
Never been proposed to, but come through.
You would melt easier and quicker.
Then
so there's something that's cool about those radio stations that speak the mother tongue. The common business language is English, and that's why soon I'll be going back on air on a station that does 60-40 English and Xhosa. Yeah.
So, but I mean, recognition's never been an issue for you. You've never felt like, oh, I need to stay relevant. Let me do something. You've never felt like you are, you're grappling to be on top of things.
No, never. As a matter of fact, even when I was inducted to the Radio Hall of Fame, for me, I felt that it was high time that people who broadcast in their mother tongue get the same recognition. I mean, I was there alongside about Alex J and other great radio legends, and I felt, we belong here.
We belong here.
Yeah, siyabelongisa. Siyabelongisha.
Siyabelongisha, man. Listen, time for a quick ad break. After the break, we talk to Putco Mafani about family and his brand new project that is coming soon in July. Stay with us. And welcome back to Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours. I'm joined in studio by the legendary broadcasting veteran, former BE show host Putco Mafani. Lots of tweets coming through. The first one from Mahatebe Mguba. She says, keep walking, uBhutiza, man of many talents. When I chow him dange, chiwo. Are those your clan? That's your clan names?
Yes.
Look at them. From Avile Dlagavu, Mhleke Putco, he's a flame. He is just aging gracefully. Hello, Putco. Hey, Sisbong is going to have problems here. From Zugile says, Anele, you're hosting the first celebrity Msasazi right here in Mzani. Everything he touches turns to gold. When I said you're coming on Twitter, most people said, please, can you ask him to do an impersonation of Dumile Mateza, who is not rugbyman, boxing commentator. So.
Well, Mateza did a lot, actually. He did rugby.
Radio as well.
And in 3 languages. And he did football. And he did boxing. I remember when he did football at some stage, in Tata Bushbucks was still, active then.
Oh,
and there was a guy by the name of Mongi Khula. Yeah, Mateza. Nkabile bola, Mongi Khula. Jersey number 9. Bambiza Nestam number 1. And yazi tatake ngati une mortuary. I caught on there's a mistake. The butchery. Yeah.
So I was speaking of Twitter today. I tweeted as well that my dad, when he writes me SMSs and emails, he's very formal, right? Like kind regards or appreciation. And I almost feel like there's such a generation gap between our fathers and us, where you guys kind of struggle to kind of show love without being formal about it. Sure. What's your relationship like with your children? Is there something that you wish you would do better?
I play a lot. I play a lot with them. I try being formal, but it doesn't work.
So you try being strict.
They call me names, and some of the names, I think most of the names I'm not even aware, but some I am. But I play a lot with them. I try to be as casual as possible. The strange thing is that the more I relate to them in that fashion, is the more respect I earn. Kids want to be loved. They want to play with them. I play golf with my boys when I have a chance, you know, and we play Crazy 8 with the entire family.
Take two.
You know, the entire clan. We sit around the table and we play Crazy 8 and Crazy 8. Take two for reminding that one. Take two. We're enough for screaming. And take two.
Take two for wasting time.
Absolutely, take two for wasting time.
Take two for wrong time. In fact, just take another two because I feel like it. And are any of them looking like they're about to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, there's uBhutiza. uBhutiza is just qualified as a sound engineer, but also he's got an amazing voice behind the microphone. I think he's gonna do it as well. And I told him, I said, yo, when we're calling a sound engineering thing, you're already better than me. And I'm loving it, you know.
And the other ones, what are they doing?
Well, uBhutiza's brother is in the ambulances. Umoki yena, he's a qualified BSc guy. Hectic was ways of lab.
Wow.
Fagi coat him shop.
White jacket, yo.
White jacket,
Doctor soon, huh?
Yeah, white jacket, you know. Yeah, and the other twin, I got twins as well. Yeah, so my daughter, if anybody's looking for twins, I got the recipe. Yeah. So the other twin, Ukulu, you know, she's a nurse, a professional nurse, and his twin brother is an ambulance driver. So, and then Unoni is Miss Africa World. She's Mrs. Mbete, Unoni.
Okay.
But she's my daughter. She's married to Mbete.
Mbete.
Uzux, yeah.
All right.
And she's also an entrepreneur. She's also into finances and car finances. She's a banking lady. Yeah.
And you're proud of your kids?
So things are quite diverse at home. Then Bongi and I run EPMC, Putco Mafani Consulting, which is a marketing communications firm. We have a staff of 6 highly talented young people.
You dote over your wife, hey? She must be the most loved woman in the world, right?
I hope she feels like that.
I see she feels like that.
Yeah, I hope she feels like that because, wow!
Oh, really? Okay.
All the love.
She found a dog that had lost its bark. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Okay, let's go into that. You were married before and you got divorced. What does divorce teach you about yourself that you are aware of when you go into another relationship?
Yeah, I think it teaches, well, with me, I don't know with many other people, it always teaches that God is generous with his second chances. That life is full of second chances. You know, it's a traumatic thing, it's a painful thing.
Divorce.
Nobody gets into it to divorce, no. But when it happens, it's painful. It can be traumatic to children as well. And children, for them, their trauma can be lifelong.
Yes.
And as they grow older, they kind of accustomed to one part of the family.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the bad thing about it when it happens, you know. But as long as we all show love, you know, just show love.
If you're aware of that, of the dark side that divorce can come with, because there's a light side as well, because if we're not happy together, let's just not be together, because at times staying together is more detrimental to the children. Do you know?
Yeah, with many people, particularly people who cannot manage their emotions well.
Yeah.
People who cannot manage their anger well, it can be detrimental to themselves. They can be an endangered species because of their very selves, and also their children also could be endangered. So yeah, you know, you hear sometimes professionals say it might work if you go your different ways.
Yeah.
It really was not originally and spiritually and otherwise. It was not intended. It's not in the original script of family life.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, but when it happens, you got to recover. You got to dust off and recover and exploit the availability of grace. You know, because there's grace that is available to all. Grace is available to you, it's available to me, to everybody. You know, so you got to take advantage of the availability of grace and move on in faith and say, I am here today, but tomorrow I'm going there, baby. Yeah.
So speaking of going there, from Umhlobo Wenene? You're going there. People were so depressed. I think people have got therapy bills. People had to go see doctors and psychologists because you resigned as the breakfast host from the BE show, which, by the way, you took that station and they had 700,000, 800,000 listeners, all the way to 3 million.
Yeah. When we relocated, Bongi and I relocated back to PE in 2009 to run the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, in PE as a host city.
Yeah.
And the management got wind of the fact that I'm around, and they said, hey, man, the breakfast show is not doing the way it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, it was just a little over 700,000. I took it, got a producer, brilliant youngster, Pastor, and he was my producer. I got to Mafa, whose laughing is so infectious, just like yours. I said, Mafa, hoi here, you're not going. You read the news here and you don't go out. Because I want you in the show. Got to coach Mtsabo Umlek. He is the most talented sports presenter ever. And this, my team, I built the team.
You did?
Built that team with lingo, style, culture. And all of that, Ivumba Londo Longe, it's still there. You know, and guess what? When I left them, sadly, it was painful for me as well to have to leave them. We were at around 3.2 million, just the breakfast show only.
Wow. Those are numbers.
Yeah.
Those are numbers.
Yeah.
When we come back from the break, I want to carry on talking about Mhlobo Wenene and obviously your new project, Rhythm FM. And also because I know when you took over the breakfast show, it was called the BE show, Breakfast Early Express, and then you changed it to Breakfast Ayona. I want to know why you changed the name. Why did that come about? We'll talk about that for the last time after the break. And for the last time, welcome back to Real Talk. Sitting next to me is Putco Mafani, who dropped a huge, unexpected bomb that he was hanging up his headphones at Mhlobo Wenene and moving across to start his own radio station. Hello, ownership.
Yeah. It had to come at some stage.
It did, and I think your timing is impeccable. Rhythm FM in the Eastern Cape, starting, can I say it? Can I say when it's going to go live?
Yeah.
1st of July.
Yeah, we're switching transmitters
Just
on.
the music on?
Just the music on. And then later. And then we go on a full blast 24-hour broadcast. Okay.
So now, before we go there, I want to speak to the authenticity of you on radio. You get to the show, you guys call it BEE. Breakfast, what? Breakfast?
Originally, I wanted to call it Breakfast Early Express.
Early Express, that's
but the station manager said, yeah, it's too English.
Yeah.
Ndiyayithanda le BEE yakho.
Yeah.
But it's too English. Khayenze ngeXhosa.
Breakfast.
And immediately ndamxelela ndathi breakfast eyondlayo ekseni.
Okay.
Yeah. The most nutritious early morning breakfast.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, and you did wonderfully then. Like you say, you grew your team and then you move. Who was the first person you told that you're leaving Mhlobo Wenene?
The station manager.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to his office, had a chat with him. It was the most painful discussion ever.
As painful as telling the principal that you're no longer teaching anymore?
Absolutely.
Which one was more painful?
Yeah, I think this one, it was. But we both came to terms with the fact that it's time for growth.
Yes.
It's time that a young boy from the dusty streets of Fort Beaufort would claim to have shares with a consortium that owns a radio station, Amazomoya, a consortium yetu of radio professionals from the Eastern Cape, who in partnership with the MSG, Abo Given,
Andile.
Yeah, absolutely. And we then are putting together this lovely baby. I think the airwaves are pregnant, baby, because we're coming around soon.
And they're gonna give birth. So is it not tricky? Because you're gonna be the breakfast show host, but you're also the station manager. Yeah. Is that not tricky? Because for me, when I've seen that happen, it's very difficult to tell, the other DJs as a station manager, no, don't do this, if then you are in turn also doing it. How are you gonna navigate that?
It depends how you do it. It's like I was an effective teacher because I had fun with my learners. And I believe that I'm going to be an effective station manager because I got to have fun with my colleagues, have lots of fun with them, but they would know what my expectations are. You see, when you have fun people, it's easy for them to give you their buy-in of the expectations and the deliverables. And so this is the culture that I'm anticipating. I'm going to have so much fun. We're going to deliver so much and attract so many advertisers and make lots of revenue. It's got to be fun driven. You got to love it. LOVE. I'm going to make everybody love it. Everybody fall in love with the sound and the good voices. I'm really looking for voices because that's what radio is all about.
It's all about
Voices. Yeah.
Surely there's hesitation and fear when you're making a decision to leave 3.2 million listeners and go start something from one listener. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What's your fear?
It's the dream. If your dream is not big enough and doesn't scare you, then it's not worth dreaming. That's my fear. The dream is so big. I love it, but sometimes I wake up at midnight and say, is it really just about to happen? And every time I ask myself that question, I get an inherent way of self-propelling towards working hard so I can realize the success that I've got to enjoy with my colleagues, particularly teamwork.
Yeah.
I love working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've always done that from Kaizer Chiefs. I don't think you've ever been like a solo act, because although you are a great singer, but even your singing presents itself in a choir, which even then is teamwork.
You didn't hear 60,000 supporters singing Umbe Suma with me when I was PRO. I made that boy. He still scored a lot of goals, because before the game we would go Umbe Suma, Somlandela, Umbe Suma, and people would stand and sing goosebumps.
You said that if you had to release an album, it would sell 500,000 copies, no doubt, by the end of the month.
Absolutely.
Why are you not releasing an album?
My focus is on radio now. Yeah.
I mean, well, it's your radio station.
My focus is on radio. My focus is on TV. I love that space. And I don't think I ever gave singing professionally some serious thought. Music ninomona.
Now that abantwana bebelungu bejazile ingoma zami ninomona. We love you, babes, Modimo. We love you, babes. So, I mean, you've got your own radio station. Surely you can release a song because you've got a place to play it now.
Yeah. Look, I don't wanna do it that way. I'm not saying that the radio presenters or DJs who've got their own albums and they play them on their own shows are doing a wrong thing. I'm not saying that, but I don't think I would be comfortable doing that.
Okay.
I love lifting other people. I love that. I love that.
Okay, and you said you're also concentrating on TV. Let's talk about ATAC.
That's why now we got together and thought about lifting the players of today by showcasing the players of yesteryears.
Soccer players.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we coined the SABC Sport Show Eitadiski, and it plays on SABC 1 at 1:30 every Saturday afternoon, just before the live coverage of whatever game.
So you say you go and you interview the players of yesteryear, so
Absolutely.
Eric Tinkler, Dr. Kumalo, Lucas Radebe.
Those kind of legends.
Okay.
Spend the entire episode with a legend.
Okay.
Talk about how they cracked it into the game, talk about their highest moments, talk about what they're doing now, if they are involved in plowing back to the game. We've spoken to Bashin Mahlangu, we've spoken to Portia Mudise, Banyana. Yes, we did that. We've spoken to Daniel Mambush, we've spoken to Chaka Chaka Mpondo, we Moroka Swallows, we doing Chaklas, we spoke to Max Maponyane. So yeah, it's growing. It's a new show, but I'm loving it because it is a show of the legends, for the legends, and other legends to be by a legend.
I'll say, by a legend. Have you managed to get hold of Jabu Pule?
We're gonna get him.
Have you really? Because Jabu Punyo Kabempet.
We're gonna get him.
You're definitely gonna get him.
Shuffle the pack, Jabu Pule. We're gonna get him.
And just to to wrap it up, this has been a wonderful hour, and because people think because you talk a lot, they know you. So I think this hour has been great because now they've really gotten to know you, because you're always talking, but you're never really sharing about yourself. You're giving life commentary and social commentary. For you, what is the state of the entertainment industry in South Africa, and who's the one to watch?
I think there's a lot of panic when it comes to competition.
Yeah.
We don't realize that the pie is big enough for all of us. I mean, look at what the hip hop guys have done.
Yeah.
Nobody thought, when Kwaito was happening, when Kwaito was really hectic, nobody thought there would be another genre that would take the space. And they've cut the space. They've won the summers. They've cut the space. But guess what? There's still a lot of room for Maskandi. There's still a lot of room for gospel. There's still a lot of room for house, for Kwaito, for Afropop. There's a room for everybody. There's no need to fight about it. There's no need to panic about it. There's room for everybody. The pie is big enough. Let's write more songs. Let's perform more songs.
And on that note, I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm not going to say anything else except thank you so much to the legend, Putco Mafani, for joining us right here at Real Talk, hanging up his headphones at Nene, but moving over to Rhythm FM. Cannot wait to hear that. Thank you for staying with me this entire hour. Until next time, because tomorrow, total chaos in here. Pop Pops, and he's bringing Robbie Collins. I'm already scared. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much. Good night.